So I smoked, and I would take my car up to McDonald's and smoke in the car because it was cold, and I would use their Wi-Fi. Right. And I love the McRib, so I was just thinking, what would happen if they refused to give me a McRib, an extra McRib?
Live from the Willie Nelson and Friends Museum Showcase in Nashville, Tennessee. It's Music is Funny. Musicians talking to comedians about music and comedy. With your hosts, Raelyn Nelson and Jonathan Bright.
I'm still smoking, I'm so high, I keep toking, I'm drunk, but I'm still drinking too.
Welcome back to Music is Funny. I'm Raelyn Nelson.
And I'm Jonathan Bright from the Raelyn Nelson Band, back with another ridiculous and unnecessary intro.
Except that we need to tell you to go follow us on all of our social media platforms at Raelyn Nelson Band. And if you want to donate to us, you can do so on our website or Patreon.
That's good. And also like and subscribe to this podcast.
Oh yeah, on YouTube, Music is Funny.
Go back and watch old episodes. They're fantastic. Anyway, without further ado,
a Libbie Higgins. So we always start off by asking, what's the first music you remember loving as a kid?
Whoa.
First song,
very first, not teenage, just right out of the box.
I believe it was Styx.
Wow.
And I don't remember. I think it was Hangman who's hung again. Renegade.
Yeah.
And when the radio was on in the car, I always thought it was my dad singing. I thought that was my dad singing on the radio.
Did he sing?
No.
You must have thought your dad was cool as shit.
I just was like, wow, dad's on the radio.
My dad's cool as shit.
And I did understand how the radio worked. I thought when you get out of the car, then the song will stop. And when you get back in, it'll be the same song. I mean, now it's like that, but
yeah, in
the 70s, no.
Right. So
the first record I owned was Go Mickey by Hey Mickey, yeah. You're So Fine. That's the first 45 I remember owning.
That's a good one.
You're speaking my language. You're talking about 45s in the radio like that, yeah.
With the little thing in the middle so the record doesn't fly around.
Yep, and then if you had scratch records, you'd put like a quarter on top of the stylus so it wouldn't bounce up. At least we did back in the day. Our Kiss records got pretty scarred up back then.
We are elders. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. She's still got milk on her breath.
I'm like, quarter on a record? What?
What's a record?
Okay, so what kind of music was your mom listening to? Do you have a mom?
Yes, I have a mom. Not anymore. She has since left this earth.
R.I.P.
She's not alive. Which is a funny story.
I should hear it.
Well, my mom always said, I hope one day I drop dead. I don't want to be in a home. I don't want to be incapacitated. And literally one day she dropped dead. And I'm like, you bitch, you got your wish. She just dropped dead.
Of what?
Just like a massive heart attack.
God.
Dead. Wow, what a way to start the podcast.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And
my mom and I enjoyed the movie Xanadu.
Okay.
So the Xanadu soundtrack.
Yeah.
Ronnie Millsap. Alabama.
Yeah.
The Oak Ridge Boys.
oh, yeah.
All good stuff.
Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
But my parents were Southern, so I think that was the country influence. And then my dad was into very classical music. Like very classical. Operas and whatnot, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird for somebody from the South.
Right.
I mean, not that everybody from the South doesn't appreciate that.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But like listening to it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On records, too. Listening to operas on records. Which as a child, that's haunting, hearing...
Yeah, or it's the soundtrack to a cartoon. I learned a lot of classical songs by watching Bugs Bunny cartoons.
That's true.
Killed a wabbit, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I swear. We had to take a music appreciation class at Belmont, and there were we had to listen to symphonies and stuff like that to, write down what it is, memorize it and shit. But 3/4 of it were to Bugs Bunny songs. And I could just do Kill a Wabbit and have like word association. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
But he went to Belmont. That's the important part of that whole story. Okay, so what about siblings? Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have an older sister, younger brother. My sister was into, I just remember her high school years. So it was like Prince.
Yeah.
Duran Duran, which you gotta love Duran Duran. Holy hotness.
They were loaded with them.
Would bang every member of Duran Duran. Not kidding.
Yes, sir.
Just what was, Eurythmics.
Okay.
Have you ever listened to their the soundtrack they did for 1984?
No.
I haven't, but Annie Litnick can sing her ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to listen to that soundtrack. It's strange and wonderful. I'm a big music guy. Love music.
Okay.
And I'm affected by music. Like it affects me internally. Like as a child, I remember being in church and just like sobbing when the choir would start to sing. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much how it is now, but I can control it better.
Yeah.
I still cry at music, but as a kid, man, I'd just be like.
Do you like listening to sad songs, or is it happy songs that do that to you too?
Sad songs do make me cry. Happy songs, I don't know if it's the chords, I don't know the science behind it, will just make me weep. And I
don't know if that's great or horrible. Every time I hear music, I'm bawling.
It makes me feel good, though. Like, it makes me just feel.
Okay, good.
I saw a guy on the side of the road playing a violin. Since found out he was a scammer, all right? He's piping music through his speaker. But I went out, and I'm just standing there sobbing in front of this man. And I hope he feels bad, because it affected me so deeply.
Do you cry other times, or is it just when you hear music? I'm curious if it's like a release for you. It's like, okay, I feel safe to cry here, because there's only certain places I feel safe to cry as well. So I was just wondering.
I mean, I do cry a lot, like when I'm happy, if something
great
happens, but music just, maybe I do feel safe, and maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so far we covered death, and now we're talking about crying.
Wow.
The episode should be called "Music Makes Me Cry."
Music makes me cry. Yeah, there you go.
But that's good though, because it makes me feel so much, and I'm on Zoloft, so sometimes I feel a little bit numb. Mm-hmm. So when I feel that much emotion, even if it's considered negative emotion, I like it.
Right. Okay.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. Yeah.
And is it like a time capsule when you hear those old songs? Like, you just puts you back to wherever exactly?
It does. It really does. Like Depeche Mode, I cannot listen to Depeche Mode without thinking of high school. Mm-hmm. And like, I can almost
be there again.
Yeah, be there, or like I can even smell it. Does that sound weird?
No.
I can sort of remember the smells.
Yeah.
I'm very sensory involved.
So if you love music, did you ever try to do music?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Tried to play the flute as a young child, and I didn't understand that you had to like practice.
Yeah.
I thought you just pick it up and you're going to play.
Especially the flute.
I wasn't going to I was like, this is too much for me.
I wanted to be in the band in 5th grade, and I went and tried for the flute, and they told me that my lips weren't shaped to do the flute. So I just went, I know, isn't that mean? He was like, no, you can't do it. No. And I was like, okay. So I just went and did chorus. But
She went and had plastic surgery and then did chorus.
Wonder where that guy is now.
Yeah, I wonder. He probably died from COVID. No shade. He was old. He was old then, So.
So beyond playing the flute, did you like ever give any like maybe I'll be in a band or something outside of like that big structured environment?
I would have loved to have been in a band, and I often dreamt of it. But my story is that I was wanting to be in the performing arts my whole life, but was very scared. And in high school, I wanted to be in the performing arts and just was scared. So I did like backstage stuff in theater, props and makeup, but the whole time wishing I could be on stage.
Singing? Do you sing?
Singing,
I was about to say, what in performing arts? Any
acting,
of it?
any of it.
Yeah.
And so then when I turned 40, I left my husband and I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing everything now. And that's when I started doing comedy and improv, acting.
What were you doing up until then?
Wishing that I was on stage.
Yeah. Well, but were you studying up? Like what, or like, did you have a whole bunch of stuff prepared for it? Or?
I had started doing things online because that was safe.
Yep.
But it gave me like an outlet where I could perform, and I would do like live little live sketches or whatever, but that was safe. So then I was like, I need to take it into the real world now.
Yeah.
So did you model that? Had you been watching people do it online and go, I can be funny like that and do that? Was there anybody that was kind of pushing you towards that direction?
So do you remember the website called Justin TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I started, and I watched people do like shows or whatever.
Right.
And that's where I kind of was like, I can do this. And Justin TV. Now it's Twitch, but
Right. Same idea.
God, we're old, brother.
I hear you.
But I started doing mainly characters online, because at the time I was teaching school, so I didn't want people to see me and be like, oh God, what is our teacher doing?
So did the characters start before you ever started stepping into stand-up, and it was sort of a way to dip your toe in before
Yeah. So anytime I'd get a wig, I would have a new character. It's the wig that informs the character for me.
Right.
But yeah, the characters really came out once I started doing stuff online.
It's interesting now how
Were they people you knew in life?
I
or
mean,
you
it's
just-
little pieces of people that you meet or whatever.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was-
wherever you were going.
I was just thinking how it's interesting that you can, comedy's changed so much with online stuff, because people have done characters. Like a lot of the huge comedians always did characters, but you still had to go through a certain process. You couldn't just on your own go, I got this great character, the Fonz, or something like that, and like put it out there and get people to go. And now it's sort of, you can. It's interesting how you can get your start doing that and build up your chops, and then it's a way to get in.
And I love that there isn't a gatekeeper, so you can pretty much create anything that you want now, and somebody likes it, they'll buy it, which hasn't happened to me yet, but but I mean, anybody can do anything as far as music, movies, TV. You can make anything, and I'm here for that.
Yeah. And there'll be
Here
an
for-
audience because of the internet
Right.
now. Yeah.
So how did it go? You start doing sketches before you went viral with the McRib stuff. Like,
Right.
what was the? I mean, we gotta get into that some. But what was the like? How does that go?
Wait, I want to see, what was the first comedian you remember loving as a child or a teenager or whenever?
As a kid, I loved, and it's horrible because I can't think of his name right now. Steve Martin. Steve Martin.
Yeah.
So I remember, I don't think I understood what he was doing. I just thought, man, this guy's funny. He moves funny. That's cool. And then I would watch SNL and stuff like that, and I was like, these people have got it. They've got it.
And it made her cry the whole time she was doing it. She was just bawling. through
Only
all
when
this-
they sing. Okay, and then circling back to what you said, what did you...
Or just
what
the
was-
path, like you start, you Justin TV, you put your first skit out. Like, what is the road there? How does that?
How did I get to stand up, or how did I get to other stuff?
Or just what you start with a sketch, then what happens next and next and next? You like get any views on the first one, go, I'm pretty good at this, or nothing.
Because it was the
you go,
characters first and then the stand-up? Or stand-up first and then characters?
Characters first, then stand up.
Okay.
So the stuff I was creating, no one was watching it. Like you said, like 10 or 15 people.
I thought
and
she
I
was
was
gonna go
happy.
like you guys.
No, I mean, like you were saying, like who's watching this?
Right.
But I'd put stuff out on YouTube, and maybe 100 people would watch it, and I was like, wow, I am really doing it up now. And for me, I think that period of time was just for me to dip my feet in, like get used to people seeing my stuff, and me kind of developing a tough skin, maybe, because it's very scary to put yourself out there.
It sure is.
And I think that was another reason why I did the characters. That sort of gave me protections. Like, oh, that's not me. That's the
Right.
character. So anything negatives that's said, they're saying it about the character. And I did when I started stand-up, I did it in character as an older woman named Claudette with the neck brace. And
Did people buy it, or could they tell
they
you?
knew that it was a character,
Okay.
but it was just one of those things, like I wasn't ready to be me on stage yet.
And that's not an odd. I mean, we were talking about Minnie Pearl the other day. There used to
Right.
be just character, Grandpa Jones, all those guys. They were
Right.
doing a bit of a character the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
And people sort of in St. Louis looked down on that. Other comics and bookers, they were like, we don't do character. Like,
Not hip
that's
enough.
not what we're doing. But I wanted to do that, and I wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
And it's especially hard for women in comedy, but a woman doing a character in comedy, it's like, fuck.
Just throwing a guitar, have a guitar act on top of that, and you're never getting hired.
But I started to do pretty well, and I love the New Kids on the Block. Okay, I'm just going to say that.
I was not expecting that.
Big New Kids on the Block fan, and one of the characters I created, Claudette, sort of made her way into the New Kids on the Block world. So I had all these fans from the New Kids on the Block world, and it was like deeply ingrained in the New Kids culture. But that's where I was getting a lot of my views and stuff from.
Okay.
Was that intentional, or did you just luck upon that? Like,
Well,
did you go, there's a pretty big untapped crowd there, if I can...
Well, it was just that, like, Twitter came out, and I was like, I can actually, talk to New Kids on the Block.
Right.
And that was something, like, new, to talk to celebrities. So that was cool. So I was like, I'm going to make videos that the new kids will see and notice me. Because as a 14-year-old, I would have done anything to have them notice me, right?
Right.
And they started noticing, and I was like, whoa, I've got something here. I've got something.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It
You had
is.
to be like, yes.
Because, they were untouchable as a kid.
They were huge.
They were huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Would have killed both my parents just to be in the same room with them.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
I've always said that I didn't like the New Kids, but I was Kiss. They were basically a boy band for 13-year-old dudes. They were
Yeah.
blowing shit up, or characters and stuff. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
There seems to be one every year, so there's
Right.
something that is a space that needs to be filled with every generation.
I'm an NSYNC girl.
NSYNC.
Yeah.
See,
What
I
are the
was too
ones
old
you're-
for NSYNC.
Your
I
boys
was too
listen to?
young for New Kids on the Block. My boys like a band called AJR. They just put out a video and a single today.
But they're cooler than boy bandish, but that same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're indie pop. It's what they're called, So it's
That's indie pop now.
that's what their genre is, and they're killing it.
Okay.
They're killing it, and they're catchy tunes. I think that's what. It's got to be a catchy melody for
Right.
me to think it's a good song. I know you don't care about that as much. Like
Well,
Off
certainly with
doesn't
boy bands,
have.
there's
Kiss
not,
had great catchy melodies.
They all do. If you're a popular band like that, it's not somebody who's up there screaming.
They just had to be cute back in the day. That was it.
Yeah.
It wasn't about the music for us. It was more like, they're so cute. Which one
Yeah.
are you going to marry?
Yeah. Which one were you going to marry?
Joey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joey.
Didn't he turn out to be gay though?
That's John.
Oh,
John's my favorite now.
Get your shit together,
okay.
Raelyn.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on my New Kids trivia.
Joe was the young one with the blue eyes.
Yep. And he had that song later on, like late 90s, early 2000s. What was that song?
It was
and he had such
wow.
a high voice. I remember that. Shit, what
Melt
was that
Your Heart.
song?
Oh God, what was it?
Melt
I'm
Your
the
Heart.
worst fan ever.
Me too. 'Cause
God.
I do remember singing that song a lot.
Don't sing, you're going to make her cry.
I won't. But none of the other ones had any other songs, right? They didn't do any solo stuff.
Well,
other
Jordan
than him.
did solo
oh,
stuff.
He did?
Jordan and Joey were really the vocalists.
Who was
Okay.
kind of the horse-faced guy? You know who I'm talking about.
Danny.
Okay, there you go.
Nice guy.
I'm sure he was.
Everybody roasted him though when we were kids.
Of course, because he was average looking compared to the rest of
Right.
these,
And nobody liked him.
There's Danny girls. His name's
Yeah.
Danny. So there's Danny. Everybody had their guy.
Yeah.
Danny wasn't my guy. It was Joe.
There
That's
wasn't
all I
as
saw.
many Danny girls as there were the rest of them. They were kind of the gothy ones, off in the corner, like.
And now though, knowing Danny, he's hilarious. Like John's the funniest, but Danny is also hilarious.
And you know them now.
I know them now.
This is crazy.
I know them now.
Did you think about retiring right when that happened? Go,
Yes.
I'm done. What else is there to do?
I need to know NSYNC. I did meet Chris Kirkpatrick at Zany's once. He's a comedy fan and lives around here, I guess, because
Yeah,
he's
he's
there
popping in.
kind of regularly.
Whose show was he at?
Josh Wolf's, when he was here doing his,
Love Josh.
his silly music bonanza things.
They used to do something on Sunday nights as sort of a he'd have a
Like a variety show.
first
kinda.
time comedian who would come out and try and do stuff. Then they'd pull him off and punch up his set, and somebody else would do something. Then they'd send him back out to redo it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Then
fun.
Josh would come out and do a little bit, and then sing some parody songs, and then
And he lived here for a while.
Yeah, moved to
He was in and out.
Vegas.
But a lot of people, you just moved here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Do you like it?
Love it. I have never been happier.
Really?
And my creativity is exploding just because I'm so happy and comfortable. I was getting kind of stale in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have a new lease on life. Is that the word, lease or
Yeah,
leash? New.
I think it's leash, but I like leash. That sounds like
got
some
a
punk
new
rock
leash.
lyric. Yeah.
I thought it was leech. You're sure it's not leech? New leech on life.
But you are the town's full of creative people, so it's probably got a certain vibe to it. I've lived here since '78, so it's changed a bunch, but it seems to be it's just lousy with talent. Music, comedians.
Comedy
moving here.
now, for sure. There's all of you guys are moving here.
That's
it seems
awesome.
like
Kathleen
Austin, too.
Madigan moved here a while back.
And she's from St. Louis.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw her in St. Louis at the Funny Bone. Oh my God. It was a long time ago. She wasn't even headlining. She was featuring, which is what I'm considered. I'm a feature comic.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the last time I've seen a woman feature at the Funny Bone. No shade.
Kathleen's great. We've talked to her. We've actually sort of become friends and hung out with her, had beers and
We've
stuff.
had beers and, down at the, where did we go? Down in Midtown somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, she's fun.
God, would love to meet her.
Yeah. We'll go out. Do you drink beer?
I mean, I have been known to drink beer.
So then we'll have to all go drink beer together.
Hell yeah.
All right, so you're doing the characters and stuff. The McRib thing blew up, right?
Ridiculous.
How did that happen?
Okay, so that happened around the time I was on Vine. Remember Vine?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so...
Elon's talking about bringing it back.
Oh, would love it. And that was a character I created for Vine because Carla I would do 6 seconds. I would do real quick snippets,
Right.
which worked well on that platform. And I was living with my mom because I was going through a divorce. Still not technically divorced yet, but that's neither here nor there. So I smoked, and I would take my car up to McDonald's and smoke in the car because it was cold, and I would use their Wi-Fi.
Right.
And I love the McRib, so I was just thinking, what would happen if they refused to give me a McRib, an extra McRib? And I always have my wigs with me, so I got out of the car and just recorded it, one take, not thinking anyone would see it. And then it started to go viral almost immediately on Facebook.
Like, how's that? Did you wake up the next morning and just kind of check and go, what the
No,
fuck?
that night.
Oh, yeah.
Was going viral. And I got scared because I said the location. And I don't generally say locations in videos because I know that can cause problems, which it did. And so I either took it down or it got deleted. And then a couple weeks later, it popped up on someone else's page. They had screen recorded it and started going viral again. And then I was like, shit, I got to put it back up on my channel. And then I put it up on my channel, started going viral again, got deleted. You couldn't stop this video; it just kept going viral. So then I finally did put it back up, and it went viral again, which was absolute insanity. I don't know if you guys have gone viral.
No.
Scary.
I bet.
It is scary.
Now, when it's happening, do you think, fuck, how do I capitalize on this? How do I get people? I got all these eyeballs. What do I do here? I got to do
Yes.
something because it's happening very quickly.
Yes,
And it doesn't sound like you had a plan for this particular video
didn't.
to go huge.
my thought process was like, I guess I got to make a T-shirt. That was as big as my.
That's a good start,
That was
actually.
as good as I got. But I had tons of people reaching out to me about management and stuff like that, and I didn't know anything about that. I still don't. I'm not managed by anyone, and I didn't do any of that. And I just didn't feel the time was right. Mm-hmm. And I go a lot on my instinct. I didn't feel the time was right. But I mean, it's just so great that so many things have come out of that as far as like people finding my channel. Lots of people don't know that's me though. That's the thing
I
with
was
that
about to
video.
say it's got to be tough because it's very convincing. I'm sure at least 60% of the people bought it hook, line, and
Right.
sinker.
Yeah.
At least, maybe more.
And I kept trying to explain to my mom about being viral. She didn't understand.
Are you
she's
sick?
She's like, but so I'm like, millions of people, Mom, everywhere. And she's like, well, I just don't see how it's that many. And I was like, open your Facebook and everything you will see will be my face. And that's how it was for like a week. Insanity.
Wow.
It was crazy. And then that's when my mom got really interested in my career. Like, oh, she's really doing something. Because before she was like, whatever.
Right.
She's doing comedy.
Now she's telling her
Silly
friends, have you seen my
yeah.
daughter on it? Yeah.
You seen this McRib video here? Yeah, crazy.
And then did you get a lot of followers from it?
Not really,
No.
because people didn't know it was me.
They just thought it was.
I thought it was this lady.
ranting about the McRib. So
That's
you know, if you just see, it's like
So how do you capitalize on that? What do you do?
I mean,
Do you just keep doing it?
you just keep doing it, and just people love that character, so just try to do as much as you can
Yeah.
with that character. But I'll still get comments every day on my YouTube where people are like, "I thought this was real. I thought this was real."
which is a testament to how well you were doing the character.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna make
mean,
you feel good.
Everything
You're
in
a
that
great
video
actress as well, you
That
know?
that video was very deliberate. Like everything, starting it here because people just don't know how to use their phone, so
Right.
they're like the T-shirt, everything, saying that the drive-through was filled up and I would have to walk. I knew was going to enrage people. I knew that was going to just set people off. Like you need to
so funny.
exercise.
Yeah. It's an ultimate troll job. It was nice.
And I do consider myself a troll because a lot of my characters I would do trying to trick people. I want people to think they're real, you know?
It's kind of the whole idea of doing a character.
Right.
Trying to make, yeah.
Would you make a movie out of them?
Out of Carla?
Yeah.
I am currently a guy that I know, Billy Butler. We did the movies Baby Oopsie together. I don't know if you've heard of those, but we're going to make a Carla movie this
Okay.
year.
Good.
This
Good.
year.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So were you doing stand-up before this came out? Or
Yes.
so you've been doing stand-up at that
right.
time?
And I always wonder if people think like, oh, I don't want them to discredit me as a stand-up because they see that stuff. Sometimes you get internet comedians don't seem to get as much credit
Yeah, I can
for
see that.
stand-up because it's like, oh, they got all this following online. But I've been hustling, you know?
Yeah.
I've
Well,
been
they
hustling.
did that to Dane Cook, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
People troll him, and he's great.
yeah, I think it's kind of, most comedians are nice, but we've interviewed a lot of comedians, and they're just as crazy as musicians are, too. You know, can get a little spiteful and a little jealous. Even the older ones will talk about what it's like coming up and being a little spiteful and, you know, why are they getting this, not realizing that there's enough for everybody. It's like,
Right.
well, if he's getting this, that means I can't have this and then
Right.
why him and not me, or her and not me. So, yeah, I can see where that comes from,
Yeah.
especially with the internet, because you can blow up. Now, you can't blow up overnight without any goods and have any chance of sustaining it at all.
Longevity, yeah.
But you can get a bunch of attention overnight.
Right.
And there probably are a lot of them, not you, but other ones that just do one thing and they're like, I'm going to go out and make one round to the comedy clubs. And everybody's like, well, this is terrible. You know, you get your one
Right.
shot. So it's kind of cool that you had been doing stand-up before. That's kind of what you are about. And then you could sort of leverage this into, you know, getting bigger, getting more eyeballs on you.
And that's how I met Chelcie Lynn. We met on Vine, and
Very similar kind of path.
right, she searched white trash, and found me on Vine because my name at the time was White Trash Network. Like I just operated like I was a network, which is really stupid and funny. But
think
that's
it's
how
smart.
it's the same kind of stuff. But when she went viral, everybody knew it was her.
Right.
They knew Chelcie Lynn was Tammy. So it's a different trajectory. Is that the word? But we've been friends since then because
Yeah.
we have the same sense of humor. Mm-hmm. She started doing stand-up about 2 years ago. And before she did stand-up, she's like, if I ever do stand-up, I'm taking you on the road with me. And she did.
Yeah.
I'm her opener forever until she tells me not to anymore.
Nice. What's it like touring now?
Dude, it's wild. It is exhausting.
Yeah. Are y'all on planes mostly or
Driving.
Driving. Okay.
So we had an RV the first round.
That's cool.
And the RV just kept breaking down and it sucked and it was big. You couldn't take it anywhere.
Now, when you were doing it, were you staying at campgrounds or were you going to like hotels and shower and stuff?
Sometimes we would stay at like a Love Truck Stop and shower there.
Right.
And, or drive up to a hotel with it. But we thought it would really save on hotels and stuff, but we were so miserable, just uncomfortable. And it's not
How
like
many
a tour
people were
bus.
in there?
4 of us.
4.
That could get a little crowded.
Yeah.
We only did the tour bus thing a couple of times, and I think it broke down both times.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah.
You guys flying?
We drive most. We're a band. You got to take gear.
Yeah.
It's expensive to get a band out and traveling around. So we're very jealous of the comedians because
It's just
you
you
just got to
and
get
wigs.
yourself there and just you.
Well, we have a trailer because we have merch. Chelcie has merch. You think
But that's
you're
how you make money.
right.
Yeah.
You'd think you're at a Ted Nugent concert, the amount of merch
Nice.
she
I
has.
love it. I love it.
Chelcie is an incredible businesswoman. I think you guys are going to have her on here
Yes.
at some point.
In just a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
She doesn't skip a beat. I mean, her merch stand is unreal.
Do you have some merch too?
I do. I have some
Okay, good.
T-shirts, and I do a bit about long titties. So I have a little bracelet that says "Long Titty Awareness" with my name on it. It's like a cheap little thing I can have.
Yeah. I love it.
So where's you said the RV? What happens
yeah.
after that?
RV.
It breaks down. You're like,
Breaks down,
this is
then
not-
we got a Suburban. So we have a Suburban and a trailer.
that makes the most
which is
sense. They're
much easier.
Easier to get around. You can
Yeah.
drive through a drive-through if you have to. It's
Well,
not like,
we tried that
with the
with
trailer, did
Chelsea's
you tell?
husband and took the Arby's awning out. So
was anybody warning him and go, no, know what I'm
yes,
doing. Oh,
all
I
of
love
us.
it.
And he's like, I got it, and took that thing out. And then we were, I didn't say this anywhere else, but he was going to drive away. And as we're at the stoplight, we look over and notice all the employees outside looking up at it, like clearly on the phone calling the police. So we had to pull around.
No, I was just getting circling around here.
Circling
Yeah.
around. He took out the damn Arby's awning. Oh my God.
Okay, so RV. So what are you guys doing now? Are y'all still doing the RV thing? when
We're
you
doing the
tour?
Suburban.
Oh,
Suburban
sorry.
and the trailer.
Stoner.
Got it. Oh, I thought the Suburban carried the RV for some reason.
Oh,
the-
God.
You know those pull behind
Yeah.
RVs? That's what I pictured. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, just the Suburban and the trailer, and we're good.
Yeah. And just hotels. A lot of hotels.
And I love living in a hotel.
Yeah, I love hotel time too. Because there's at home, when you have alone time at home, there's so many things you could be doing to improve your home. But but if you're at a hotel,
You don't have to.
you don't have to. And it's just, I'm just hanging out.
Just laying down,
laying down.
eating Little Debbie's.
So was it she the first time you'd been out, like, touring basically
Yes.
on comedy?
Yep. And
Was it nerve? I mean, you'd done it enough, but were you working out of one spot basically, and then it's like, all right, now it's time to take the show on the road and see how everybody takes it?
I mean, she is a natural. So her first time doing comedy, she was doing as well as I was doing at like year 5.
Right. And 2 years is quick.
She didn't do clubs. She didn't do anything. She went straight from like a few performances to touring.
That's wild.
And it's amazing to me. So we did clubs last time, then started inching to theaters, and now we're pretty much all theaters at this point, which
Wow.
is insanity.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it had to be a couple jumps. First, you're like, okay, I'm going to have a new crowd every night in the club. That probably took a bit of getting used to.
Oh, I love clubs though. I like to be real close with people. I like to do crowd work and stuff like
Right.
that. So theaters is very different for me.
Yeah, I can
Chelsea
imagine.
likes theaters. So I'm going where she goes.
Yeah.
blame you.
And she can, I mean, why do 5 shows in one city when you can do 1 show in one city and go somewhere else?
Right.
Very good point.
Yep.
But for as little as she's been doing it, she's crushing it.
Oh my God. She's
Crushing it.
just killing it. And, I don't want to tell her story because I know she's going to be on here, but she didn't come from a lot and had a really rough childhood. And to be this incredible businesswoman who is just working. And she takes care of everyone around her.
Yeah, she seems really genuine and
She
nice and kind.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I say it as a joke, but she's stimulating the economy because she's got the T-shirt guys, she's got the calendar out, she's got she's got me, her 2 sisters working for her. I mean, she's just
That's smart.
killing it.
Yeah. And hire people you trust.
Yeah, keep the
Right.
team close. Yeah. What kind of music do you guys listen to on the road?
Oh man, we listen to a lot of Co Wetzel.
Okay.
We listen to Tyler Childers, Nickelback, Creed. We just love anything. Rap,
Yeah.
Kevin Gates. I mean, we love it all.
So
We
it's
Are
a
you
fun
crying
gig.
on the road?
Yeah, Chelsea's laughing. She's bawling in the passenger seat.
we just love listening to music and
Do you guys
singing.
listen to comedy podcasts ever?
Not as much as we do the music.
Okay.
Always the same when we talk to people because we never listen to music in the van.
Really?
All week. Well, there's
Unless
4
we're
of us,
learning a song or something.
But no, there's 4 of us, and nobody wants to necessarily listen to the same thing. But we all like comedy, so we'll put that on.
How bad does your van stink?
It's not.
I mean, like as far as like smoke goes,
Just stank, funk.
Yeah, I mean,
Smoke.
if you consider like damp beer and weed
Yeah.
smoke, it's pretty dank. But
Do you guys smoke in the car? Mm-hmm. I'm so jealous.
yeah, we sure do.
I got a little lawn chair and we make stops, and I'll just sit down.
oh god, we wouldn't get anywhere if we had to make stops.
No, we lost a drummer because we smoke in the van.
Really?
That's true.
Yeah, we sure did. We
too much
lost
for
a
him.
lot of drummers, but
Man, fuck
One
that
of them.
guy.
Yeah, we've been through 12, 13 of them. So
Are they hard to keep around?
drummers,
yeah,
for
well,
us, we've lost them to better.
yeah, they get it. You know,
Musicians.
one of them's playing with us. Next thing you know, Steven Tyler calls. We need somebody for this solo project. Boom.
Can't be mad at him.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always just famous people take them, or
But that is our pitch to other drummers that come in, like, hey man, if you play with us for a year, guaranteed you're gonna get a much bigger gig after this.
you're not going to like the cigarette smoke in the van and want to
Or
quit.
you're gonna quit. One or the
You
other.
guys should offer bonuses. You stick with us for 90 days, we'll give you
Exactly.
a bonus.
Sign-on bonus for $2,000 if you
Yeah.
stay for 3 gigs.
That being said, the drummer we have now seems to be fine, and he
Yeah, we got
seems to
a
stick-
nice young one.
young-
Is he hot?
Yeah. He's cute. He looks like 3 years older than my children. You know, like my
Love
boys
a
are
hot
15.
drummer.
Yeah.
What do you play?
I play guitar.
Of
I do
course
play
you do.
I play drums too.
Look at this guy.
He plays.
the coolest
he
guy
plays
on
a
the
little
planet.
bit of everything, you know. So
Now, do you do one of these numbers?
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good move.
Do you put the leg up on the
I
monitor?
don't do. That was never been one of my rock star moves.
He puts both feet up on the monitor and stands up and then jumps off
Whoa.
of it.
And do you hold your pick up and you're like,
I
Yes.
probably have done that before.
He's done
I'm sure
that.
I've done that.
I'm
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
loving this
He
life.
does that.
When can I see you guys?
So we just played. We try not to play in Nashville except for like every 6 months because nobody will come to the shows.
Because they're like, oh, they'll be here next week.
Yeah, and there's
so.
just so much music, you can't get away from it.
And we
Right.
just
Once you've
did
lived
that.
here for a while, you're probably going to start looking for bars that don't have music because it's everywhere. So it'd be like you if everywhere you went, there was a open mic
Oh,
going on.
God.
Everywhere you went, open mic. You're like, I just want to
eat.
I never thought of it that way, but wow, that would be terrible for everybody.
We did just play the Americana Fest, and JP's so proud that we finally got to play it that I just wanted to throw that out there. So we just played that, so we need to wait like 6 months. But
Okay.
I'll let you know because it'd
Yes.
be fun if you were there.
You can come to Wisconsin in January if you want.
Oh yeah, we play in January.
That does not sound like a place I want to be in January.
I know,
when it
me
came
either.
up, I'm like,
TBH.
are we even going to be able to get there? We shall see.
Well, we're touring in March, so maybe our paths will cross somewhere out on the road in March.
We'll have to
Yes.
look up for sure.
And then, are you doing shows here?
We have some shows in December, and I can't believe I don't know the dates. I think it's the 19th to the 23rd. So
Where?
Zanies.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good.
You guys
I'll
are
keep in track.
welcome.
We might have to come. Are we in
Yeah.
town?
In December.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I'm here. Yeah, I'll be there.
It's
I'll be
called
there at the
Tammy
show for
Slays.
sure. Tammy Slays.
Isn't that cute?
Is it Christmas themed?
I don't know what she's got in store yet. I don't even know what she wants me to do yet. I don't know if she wants me to do new stuff or what, but
You
here
better
we
have
are.
Better have some Christmas stuff ready. Whose idea was it to move down here and then move in together?
Chelsea's.
Yeah?
So
Where was she before here?
San Diego.
Oh, wow. So you guys weren't living near each
Right.
other.
Just like internet friends.
Yeah.
Yep. And, I would visit and stuff, but, oh, God, what were we here for? We had some shows here at Zany's, and I think it was Josh Wolf was telling her, like, lots of comedians are moving here. So she looked up the property before it started to really get expensive and bought a huge piece of land, which we're not living on now because it needs to be developed or whatever. So we just have a house right now, but she's going to build a bunch of shit on.
Yeah. Have like a farm kind of.
Farm and
Studio, I'm
podcast
sure.
studio.
Yeah.
Place for me somewhere.
That's nice.
I know.
How long were you guys internet friends before you actually met?
Oh, not long.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe a year. We met, I went to a New Kids on the Block concert in Vegas, and she met me out there, and we went to a concert together.
Is she a fan of the New Kids?
She is, but not like I am.
Yeah.
She's younger than me, so
Yeah.
she doesn't get it like I get it.
Yeah, she's probably more NSYNC era.
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys. Yeah. 98 Degrees. We had a lot of them in my 98 Degrees, LFO. I mean, there was a lot of O-Town.
Is NSYNC with Justin Timberlake? Oh, God.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Yeah, he is funny, right?
Love a funny guy.
We should have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
We should. That's
And if you
Raelyn's
do,
favorite.
I'm going to be over there
I'll let you know.
like this.
Yeah, he lives here kind of.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he has a
in
place
Leapers
out in
Fork?
Leapers Fork. Do you know about that area?
No, but dropping a pin today.
Yeah.
It's out south of Franklin, but it's
It's
where a bunch of
beautiful out
moneyed
there.
people have bought a lot of property and moved out to. He owns half of it, it seems like. I looked at like,
He just owns the fork. It's,
but there are a
Damn.
bunch of people out there that people that can
That's
they
where-
want to get
yeah.
away. He's done
I know
all right for himself.
Sammy Kershaw lives here.
okay, so his daughter is married to my first cousin.
Really?
Yeah, Nashville's kind of like that, you know.
Yeah, I think
Everybody's-
my old boss used to live next door to him too, I think.
To Sammy Kershaw?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Erin is Matthew's wife. My
That's a
cousin
riveting podcast material.
Matthew. I know. Shout out to you, Matthew and Erin. They do not listen to anything I do, by the way. Okay, so before I let you go, I want to ask you
What do you mean let me go?
about my grandpa. I was just wondering if we kind of tried to keep it at an hour.
It's
I
been
didn't
an
wanna-
hour already?
Well, not yet. I was just trying to give him
okay.
some time. So what about shit? Now you've thrown me off. What was I supposed to ask? Oh, my grandpa. What's the first time you remember hearing about Willie Nelson? Do you know who Willie Nelson is?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. I remember. Okay, so I probably was 6 years old, so that would be 1980, and riding in my mom's yellow station wagon, and I remember Willie Nelson. I don't remember what song, but I remember asking who it was, and then my mom at some point showing me because I remembered his ponytails.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the first time I remember him when I was 6, many years ago. I don't remember a specific song or anything.
Like late 70s.
I just remember it was such a distinct voice to me that I was like, it was different to me.
Yeah. That's cool.
Willie Nelson, man.
It served him well, that different voice.
What an icon.
And they got rid of him in Nashville because they said he couldn't sing.
Really?
You write great songs, but you don't sing them real well. So then he went to New York, and
And he started growing out his hair then.
a couple of dudes up there heard him play and like, no, you should record. So he did the gospel record, I think, first, and they had a week or 2 weeks of studio time left over. So they're like, just go crazy. And he did Redheaded Stranger. Boom.
Wow.
They pretty much ran
Then
him
he
out
moved
of
out to
town.
Texas. Then he went and made Austin cool.
What a rebel, though.
Yeah.
He was like,
And he started the braids just to get his hair out of the way when he played because he grew his hair out long, and which is how he always wanted it because he's always been into like Native Americans and cowboys and stuff, you know. So he's wanted the long hair and he just braided it to get it away out of his face or out of the way when he played.
what a badass.
And then it's just this, you know, iconic look, right?
Yeah. And he technically
And
could
it
go
does
bald
get
and
your
just
hair out of the
weave
way.
those things in and nobody would know. Just
He
wear a
could
hat.
put it under the
or one of the
bandana.
hats that he sells, you know, those
Yeah.
stupid, yeah, you could do that.
There's a funny story about him and Mark when he was in the hospital for carpal tunnel surgery, I think at the time, but he had decided to cut his pigtails and give it. It was during that time when people were throwing their hair in the water for the oil that had spilled. Do y'all remember this? was a few years ago.
I mean, I know
like maybe
the
like
oil's-
10 years ago or
They're
something.
taking hair donations to sop up the oil.
I'm telling you, this was a thing.
I don't remember that.
I'm telling you, this is a thing.
Jamie,
I
look it
didn't
up
make
for us
this
if you
up.
could.
But so he's in the hospital and he cut him off, but he put him back and he knew Mark was coming to see him. And Mark walked in there. He's like, "How's it going?" And he goes, "The medicine they had me on, you know." And we're, you
Is
know.
he hilarious?
Yes, he's so funny.
That's great.
He just makes everything funny. That's what I learned from him. It's just to make everything as funny as possible.
Well, we say it all the time, but that generation and the ones just past them of country dudes are all hilarious. If you ever see any footage, or there's a DVD that plays constantly here, but if you get 2 or 3 of them of the same era sitting in the same room, it's hysterical.
It's just
Hysterical.
jokes.
But I feel
back
like
and
the
forth.
country acts always had an element of comedy in them. You know, they always would talk shit, kind of like hee haw and stuff.
Yeah.
But they did that when they would go out and play. You know, they had jokes.
Yeah.
No other real music does that. Like
even the
embraces
Porter
joke.
Wagner show,
All
in
of those.
between the songs.
He and Dolly always cracking jokes.
That's great.
teasing each other. You know, it was always like not necessarily a roast, if you will, but kind of for that time it was. And you know, it's just like music and jokes kind of go together, or at least it seemed that way for start that way.
Thus, this podcast, huh?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how we kill time on the Reddit. One of the comics are just like, no more jokes. No more jokes, please. Sit around.
No, jokes all day.
I bet.
I do bits I'm just constantly doing bits.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
talking
how
to you
get
earlier, I think before we started, but you living with Chelcie, it must just be
It's just nonstop.
insanity. Just because it's like her Aunt Amy, she loves a good pun. So if it starts and you answer it with another pun, it will go on all. And she will not let you have the last one. I can guarantee. She
All
can
day
always
long.
come up with another one.
all day long. It will go on all day long.
And I can imagine that's kind of what it's like.
Yeah.
Around the
It's
household
just
there.
bits, character stuff all day.
Do y'all ever do stuff and you're like, shit, we weren't recording that shit on video?
Constantly.
Yeah.
With a new house, you need to just put up cameras that run 24/7 and tape, and then you can edit when you get through.
Well, we have the ADT cameras, which sometimes I'll grab stuff off of if we're outside. I have the Furbo for the cat, or for the dog to throw
Right.
treats. So but I just got my cat a cat camera, and she caught me doing the biggest fart this morning.
Ah!
Already posted it to Instagram because I'm like, this is gold.
So the cat camera is a camera attached
On her
to a
collar,
cat.
yes.
Yeah, I guess you can just bring up
And
on your phone
she's just-
and like.
Well, it's not that good. I have to take the video and put
But
it on
it
the
records
computer.
somewhere
yeah,
else
it
and you just-
records. Yeah,
Interesting.
it'd be
That's
pretty nice if it
hilarious.
was live though.
Yeah, new music video idea.
Yeah, I had that idea with the dogs.
Put them on some of your crazy cats. Hell, put them on your kids.
That's called a GoPro.
Yeah, that's true.
You have one of those.
We have used the GoPro a few times. So do you still come up with characters? Are you still thinking about characters
Yeah.
all the time? Or have you just gone, I'm going to just do stand-up now?
No, anytime I get a wig, new character alert. So I'm always getting wigs.
Yeah.
Love a good wig.
Like on Amazon, you just go up on it.
Amazon. If I see one at the thrift store, I'll grab it, and I don't care whose head it's been on. Let's be honest. I'm filthy.
So you do
Yeah.
these in your set? Or is your set just straight stand-up?
It's straight stand up. I will do
Because you got to have people screaming out for them.
you know what they scream out for? The McRib.
Yeah.
They'll say, "Excuse me," and then I'll.
That's
I'm
kind of what I was getting at.
And then I get embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, I've done stand up as Carla, the McRib lady,
Right.
before, and it was weird.
Yeah.
Like she's so obstinate, People love her, but she's very
They like her in 2-minute
yeah,
segments.
yeah. She's not a good one to do on stage, but I'll do different voices and stuff in a bit on stage, but not really a different character. I mean, being on stage, I'm kind of a character of myself. I'm not as confident as I am in real life as my stand-up
Right.
person is. I'm talking about her like she's different. But I have to do that or else I wouldn't get on stage because I have terrible stage fright. Still, every show.
Really?
Every show. I was nervous coming in here. I was like, everything's going to be fine. You'll be great.
Oh my
You
God.
have improv skills. You'll be fine.
But that is a function of just having to go up there by yourself because we've talked about it a lot. If in a band, you're brand new, first gig ever, whatever you can't bomb by yourself.
Right.
If you suck,
It's
you're all
all of
going
us.
down together, you know?
Right. That's what's great about improv. So I do improv too, and
Yeah.
you have a team. So
Did you do classes?
I took the program in St. Louis at the Improv Shop. It's about a year long. And the girl I do a podcast with now, Tina D-Ball, who's also another opener for us, we went through the program together. So we do a podcast called Slop City, and it's pretty much all improv. So there's no, it's like this where we're just sitting here talking and
Right.
Yeah.
doing bits. Sometimes we'll just go into like a scene before we even know it. We're doing a scene about anything.
I know some are better than others, but can you actually train somebody to do improv?
Yeah, I think you
I
can.
guess there's a lot of techniques and stuff. If you can go through a year's worth of classes, there's got to be a lot of shit.
and. Yes, and.
And that's what it is. You're just saying yes to it. And not necessarily yes, but I mean, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this with you. But improv really changed my life. It sounds cheesy. It just taught me to be more present and just being okay with the unknown. Mm-hmm. And I just know that I have skills that will help me with whatever.
Got to help with crowd work
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it at me. Love crowd work.
because you're working with bad improv actors out there.
Right.
You're like 10 times better than them. You can handle it.
And
yeah.
they're trying to say something they think is going to just kill. It's like, no.
Have you ever had one that just killed? That you have to go, all right, I got to give it up.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
mean, yeah.
That was good.
We don't have a lot of hecklers. We have a lot of very excited people.
Yeah.
They're just like,
happy
I love
to
you.
finally
or,
be in the same room with you guys.
Where's Annie? That's my cat. Where's Annie? Just very excited people.
And I think for musicians and comedians and anybody doing something in front of people, figuring out how to get through the parts that aren't going as planned is, and how to make that part of the show and funny or
Right.
good or whatever is
Right.
the whole secret to all of it. Because
Right.
we're all just winging it and winging that stuff. Because when things go awry, it's like, how do we get out of it and keep it going? And, you know?
And the only way to know how to do it is to bomb and go through
And
it.
do
first.
it.
Do it. Yep.
Yep. So of
And
course
feel
it's
gross.
fucking scary to get up, especially by yourself. I have such admiration for comedians who do it.
It's
But also you don't have to
spooky.
take things with you. It's so nice.
That's true.
it's just
Got to
you
take all this ass
and a
with me. though.
microphone. Well, thanks for that's a good place to end it.
Yeah, thanks for coming down and doing this. This was
coming out
great.
doing
Thank you.
it.
I
And
love
welcome
it.
to Nashville.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Libbie Higgins is my favorite comedian.
She was great. Crazy story. It was fun to talk to her. I like it. I think we're friends now.
Maybe we'll hang out more.
Anyway, enjoy your groceries.
Don't be an asshole.
I know your mama's name.
Did we cheers yet?
Enjoy your cigarette.